Shalom. If this video found you, you may need a bit of tough spiritual love. I'm going to read this out of my journal. It's for me, but it might be for you too. If their deep space is your outer atmosphere, you can love or hate, but it will never be able to sustain or survive each other. Some people can't go where you are meant to live and thrive. There will inherently be shame and challenging exchanged between you. Shame that you're so much, and a triggered, pressured expectation for them to be more or do new things and in ways that they don't feel natural or akin to, things that don't feel safe for them. There will be frustration on both sides and an irreconcilable separation. They won't go higher, and you mustn't stay chained to the ground for their sake. No amount of self-betrayal will inspire them to honor you or even their own potential. Love alone won't change this. Neither will hate or even the honest expression of pain. No amount of conversations nor desire on either part to understand or be understood. They alone can only meet you as deeply as they've faced themselves. So if their toxic traits, cycles, and thought systems are rooted, protected, and catered to deep in the subconscious mind where the wounds, fears, traumas, and inner child has been rejected, denied, ignored, and stored away from the light of their own eyes, you will only ever be able to go so far with them. No matter how much work you do, their work is theirs to do, and without it, there will never be a foundation where you can safely, truly, deeply, consistently share space and life. No amount of opportunity, communication, realizations, promises, forgiveness, space, effort, grace, tolerance, or suffering will ever make the difference that humble and intentional self-examination must on their part. Let them go. Sever the toxic or destructive soul ties, grieve and release the potential, the broken promises, and put it in prayer. Put it in prayer, because it's going to affect you in your nervous system some kind of way, and you're going to need that prayer and maybe a cup of tea. Let God do the unraveling and healing in you. Work to forgive and to focus on the spiritual strongholds, deceptions, and demonic assignments through intercession from a emotionally safe distance. Stop losing yourself over flesh and blood. Go higher. Let what must fall away, fall away. Know the enemy. And know that it is not that person, but the toxic, bitter, inner childhood wounding from which they are operating from. And that is enough to cause you to separate from that person for your benefit and for your alignment, and remain focused on the path that you do have set before you. Go higher. Let what must fall away, fall away. Embrace the supernatural peace and fortitude offered to you through the divine, through Yahweh, to get through it and to let it be. Because you will never wake them up to themselves or convince them to do the work that is necessary. Only they can choose and journey through their darkness and soul wounds when they truly want to. And don't make the mistake of equating them not choosing to, even for you, for your sake, as having anything to do with your value, your worth, or even your capacity to do and be what they need. That's still just them running, them self-sabotaging, and even rejecting themselves in order to stay in a point and a place in which their mind has convinced them is safe and survivable. It has nothing to do with you at the end of the day. These are the protocols and operating systems in their mind that are not yours to tear down, continuing to operate as they've been designed to. It has nothing to do with your capacity. And speaking of capacity, you will find in this season a deeper and greater strength than you ever thought possible to carry. But I promise you, and I warn you, that you cannot transfer or use that strength to make up for or bridge the gap for those committed by all means Any means necessary to living weak. No amount of strength that you might try to offer or transfer will allow you to change the lives of those who are committed to living weak, living in the shallows, suppressing themselves, and they will always expect you to do the same, lest they be challenged, triggered, or lose an opportunity to seek the dopamine over developing. Keep choosing self-development and release what pulls you off the path of being able to do that. Don't go backwards for anybody. Stay aligned. Let it be. Fight in the spiritual realms where your true enemy is, and let God handle the rest. Shalom.